And welcome to HS Game Time Live. We've got all your high school football scores, highlights, and analysis late in the night as the scores are still filtering in, as is the video. And welcome, I'm Pep Fernandez. We've got a lot of big games this week. A lot of teams, though, not playing. It was to bye or not to bye. A lot of teams having bye weeks because they had a week 0 game, so they take a game off before they enter league play. But that was not the case for the Inland Valley League teams. They're 2 games deep already into the league season, and it was an emotional game for the Poly Bears because they recently learned that one of their players, Cody Smith, who's also a wrestler, was diagnosed with cancer. So, Angel, let's take you out there to Rancho Verde High School, where the Bears were on the road tonight, taking on the Rancho Verde. And tonight's highlights brought to you by the Gosh Auto Group, Ford, Toyota, Hyundai. Thank you, Gosh. And you can see some of the Poly Bears. They shaved their head in support of Cody Smith, so that's great to see on the Poly sideline. Meanwhile, on the Rancho Verde sideline, quarterback Scoreboard Jones out, though, with that broken bone in his leg. He's hoping to come back late in the season. But there's his replacement, Malcolm Hill, still getting used to playing quarterback, but the guy can run. Breaks loose on the long touchdown run, and that makes it 7-zip Mustangs. Then later, Rancho Verde with a big hit there on the Poly Bears. Back come the Bears going to the air. Matt Murray hauls in this catch. He's going to shake a couple tackles. He's a hard guy to bring down, and he's going to take it deep into the Rancho Verde territory. That was in the first quarter. Same drive. Now in the second quarter, Matt Ibarra punches in the score, and we're all tied up at 7 apiece. Then later, it's that Hill guy, Malcolm Hill, as we said, playing in the place of Scoreboard Jones in at quarterback. Last week, I think he wore number 39. At least he's got more of a quarterback number. That's 12. And Hill is down the sideline. Check out, though, 43. He's going to track him down, punch the ball loose. Take one more look. It looks like he punches it out before he gets into the end zone. It was close, but they did rule it a touchdown. There's Demorier Stringfellow. He did not play for the Mustangs. He's got a high ankle sprain, that according to Scoreboard Jones. He said, so they kind of rested him tonight against the Poly Bears, but they could have used him, as you'll see. Later, Hill dropping back to pass, going for the end zone, or at least near the end zone. It's picked off by Tony Banks. The interception for the Poly Bears. And then Keaton Takhtarov, the big hit by the Mustangs. Deep in pushing Poly back. And then watch out for Damone Backus. Bang! Big time hit by Backus one more time. That was a great play by the Rancho Verde defense. But hold on, folks, because Poly is a winner tonight on the road at the Mustangs. Final score, I see you, 21-14. So Poly goes on to win on the road. So back here in the studio, wow, what can you say? A lot of people thought North and the Rancho Verde would be battling for the Inland Valley League Championship. Of course, Arlington's looking strong, but don't sleep on Poly. They go on the road. They beat the Mustangs. Final score of 21-14. All right, moving on. North, one of those teams in the IVL to watch. They were hosting Vista del Lago down at RCC. Angel, you know what to do. Let's roll the video down there. Here come the Huskies, and they were looking to make a statement against the Ravens. The Ravens lost to Arlington the previous week, and North, you'll remember, almost knocked off Rancho Cucamonga. There's quarterback Joseph Garcia rolling out, hits Tavita Samuilu for the long gain, and then Denzel Foster, the deuce, gets loose right into your living room. Nice run there by Foster. Then second quarter, same drive, Foster goes in for the touchdown for North, 7-zip. Then later in the second quarter, Garcia drops back and heaves the deep ball to the Ohio State commit, Marcus Baugh. He's in for the touchdown. North goes up 14-zip at that point, and North goes on to the victory against Vista del Lago by a final score of 51-6. Now, we just saw the highlight of Marcus Baugh at North, and a little earlier we saw Demorier Stringfellow on the sideline for the Rancho Verde. There are 2 local guys that will be playing in the Under Armour All-America game on January 4th at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. Cameron Hunt, a big lineman for Centennial, will also be in that Under Armour game, so congratulations to all 3 players. Earlier this week, Under Armour paid a visit to North High and presented Marcus Baugh with his honorary jersey. We caught up with Marcus and talked a little about the honor of playing in this All-Star game as well as playing for the Buckeyes next season. Here's Marcus Baugh. Pep Fernandez with HS Game Time, catching up with Under Armour All-American Marcus Baugh here at North High School. First off, Marcus, congratulations. What does this mean to you to play in the Under Armour All-American game January 4th at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida?
It means a lot knowing that 90 players and I'm one of those top 90. It feels great.
How about going down there? Are you going to see maybe some future Buckeyes, some guys you might be playing with in Columbus?
Yeah, I know Cam Burrows is going, so I'm looking forward to playing with him.
And, I mean, you're going to get down there, and it's going to be a taste of, real high-caliber competition, national television, maybe a little precursor to what you can expect at The Ohio State.
Yeah, wondering what it's going to be like to play on national television.
Are you excited about that?
Yeah. Most excited just getting the bond with the guys, but yeah, and being that it's on ESPN makes it even better.
How were you thinking about it when you first heard the news that you were named an Under Armour All-American?
Yeah, I was kind of caught off guard. I got kind of asked at the training camp out in Cerritos, and it was just random. I wasn't even supposed to go to that camp, so yeah, it surprised me.
But first things first, you still have to finish out your senior season here at North High School. What are you hoping for the Huskies this season?
To win league and go on to play in the CIF championship.
All right, Marcus Baugh from North High School, a 2012 Under Armour All-American. So congratulations to North's Marcus Baugh, as well as DeMaurier Stringfellow at the Rancho Verde, and Cameron Hunt from Centennial making the Under Armour All-America game. If you're just joining us, we've got a lot of scores and highlights still to get to. Of course, we're on Facebook and Twitter. The hashtag, if you want to use Twitter, is HSGTFB. So hit us up there, give us your thoughts, your opinions, or if you got a score. Crystal Schaubinger, awesome, giving us the Taquitz scores. The final from that one on the road at Temecula Valley. 54-21. Titans win. So Taquitz, a big winner on the road against a Southwestern League team. Our own Chris Erkley was at the game, shot video, and he'll be here in the studio in just a little bit to break down that big win by Taquitz, 54-21. Thanks again to Crystal Schaubinger for contributing with the HSGTFB hashtag, and you can too. There's still plenty of time throughout the show. And of course on Facebook, just go to search HS Game Time and you'll find us. You can leave a comment. And maybe we'll answer it on the show if you have a question as well. All right, moving on in the highlights. King taking on Ramona at Ramona High School. King coming off that tough loss in the Wood Road Rumble against Citrus Hill. Ramona still searching for its first win of the season under new head coach Damon Dustin. So let's go out there, Angel, to Ramona High School. You know, if I had a hair like that, I would probably shave a horn into it like the Ramona Ram helmet. That's pretty awesome. So early on, actually this is second half, third quarter, David Reynolds gets loose for King on that big run. And then that's what set up this. Kendall Moore goes in for the score. That makes it 27-14, King on top. Then later, the Rams, Byron Mays with a nice catch, but do it, Caswell with the big hit. You can do it. A little extracurricular there at the end. Then later, quarterback Jacob Rogers. Got to find out where Brett Hollingsworth was, but Jacob Rogers into the game, and man, he can run right into the barrel of our camera. That was a great run by Jacob Rogers, but this time he hands it off to the professional, Dylan Holsey. Or Dylan, I think as they pronounce it. He's got a nice run there for King. But Ramona's defense comes up big here. They cause the fumble. And at the bottom of that pile somewhere in there is Cody Ludwig. And he recovers for the Rams. Then later, Coswell and Mays, they meet once again. Another big hit. Could have been helmet to helmet. It was really close, but it was a big hit nevertheless. But Ramona would get a field goal out of it. 27-17 at that point, and then Holsey runs in this score to make it 34-17, and that would be the final as King defeats Ramona 34-17, the final in that one. Moving on to Moreno Valley, the Vikings at home taking on Pacific of San Bernardino. Let's go out there, Angel. That was the game that Angel actually went to, and do a little, look like haka dance. You know, Moreno Valley likes that stuff. So later, quarterback Dane Watkins scrambling and buying time. He's going to hit Ronald Gaither for the big game. But check out the poor lady working the chain gang there. And she gets hit. Luckily, some nice gentlemen come over and help her up. That was very nice to see. Then it's Watkins to Cordell Burris in for the touchdown 7-zip. Mo Val on top of Pacific. Then it's my guy, Waki Suliafu, flying through the air and in for the score. And it makes a 14-zip on the Suliafu touchdown in the second quarter. Then Asia Caraway coming up with a big stop there, the sack for the Vikings. And then it's the Vikings on offense. Sikoania Pelate, the touchdown run, and he's just going to keep running and running and running. Hey, Pelate, you got to come back, man. This game is not over yet. Nice touchdown run there, made it 21-zip. Back Pacific punting, and Gaither gets a full head of steam on that return, and he will not be stopped. Gaither goes in for the score. Look out. Looks like homecoming. Someone's getting ran over there as Moreno Valley goes on to a big win against Pacific. 56-0, your final score. So the Vikings get it done at home. All right, Angel, let's go to the big board and check out some of the scores from Week 5 of the high school football season. If you're just joining us, Pauley going on the road at the Rancho Verde. What a game, 21-14, your final score. We also saw North beat Vista del Lago 51-6. Those were both Inland Valley League games. North Vista, they blank Bloomington 35-zip. We just got the video in, so we're going to hurry and edit that and try to get that on the show. And just remember that we do have the Saturday scouting report. So if you don't see it tonight on the live show, we will bring it to you on Saturday with the scouting report. Linfield Christian all over CMI, 58-3. And Kaiser, you know, Tim Dutton just did that big feature on their linebackers, Kevin Trujillo and Anthony Sines. And the Kaiser defense comes up big again on the road at Ayala, 14-7, your final score. All right, back here in the studio, we'll keep updating the scores for you on the big board and bringing you the highlights. And remember, we're on Facebook and Twitter, so hit us up there as well if you've got a question or just opinion you want to throw out there for us. But we also want to talk about the rankings. Each week we do them here at HS Game Time. Angel, let's go ahead and roll those. And this is how it looked heading into Friday night. So these records are not updated as of tonight, but Vista Murrieta had a big win at Palisades. Centennial beat Etowanda. We'll bring you those scores. Citrus Hill, I believe, did not play. They had a bye, as we told you, to buy or not to buy was the question this week. If you played a Week 0 game, you did not play. Norco came up short on the road at Alamany. It was a close game. We'll tell you a little more about that later in the show. Chaparral defeated Santa Fe by a large margin. Carter blanked Colton, so they were a winner. Murrieta Valley did not play. Redlands East Valley did lose at Mission Viejo. And we can tell you Summit was a huge winner against Granite Hill, so that's how our top 10 looked. So we could see some shaking up of the top 10 come next week. We'll have to see if Rev losing at Mission Viejo was enough to drop the Wildcats out of the top 10. They're probably better than their record indicates, but we'll have to see how the fine sports writers here at the Press Enterprise vote and possibly knock them out of the top 10. All right, so every Wednesday morning, you know the drill by now, I go on KCAL 96.7 FM on the radio. We talk a little high school football. They're also the home of the Chargers. So, of course, we talk Chargers football and a little National Football League and fantasy football. But we also touch, as I said, on local high school football, the big game of the week, the storylines that we're following here at HS Game Time. So here's a little snippet of hanging out with Jimbo and Stu and Tiffany on KCAL's morning show, 96.7 FM, KCAL Rocks. Here it is.
Our pep rally, We've got Pep Fernandez, who is our sports expert, yes, from the Press Enterprise. We've decided that Stu's just not that good at it. Monday night's football game and the debacle ending of it with the replacement refs.
Yeah, I want to know, where was Aaron Rodgers? He should have been out there doing his discount double check move. Double check that call. Come on, right here, you know. Double check that call.
Speaking of the Vikings, how's high school football these days?
It's going well. In fact, maybe the referees in the high school league are actually better than what you see in the NFL right
Probably
now.
more experience anyway.
So if you're looking for a good game, go check out a high school game this Friday. Yeah. But a lot of our local teams have buys because they have a thing called Week 0 now, where you can play the very first week of the season, then you take a bye right before league starts. So it's kind of a light week, but there are some good games. Riverside Poly playing at the Rancho Verde High School in Moreno Valley. That's a good one. And we're also keeping an eye on Taquitz at Temecula Valley. That's another good one.
Yep, Pep's doing something very cool, covering all the high school football action here in the Inland Empire. Where can you check it out online?
Go to hsgametime.pe.com. That's the Press Enterprises website. HS Game Time's our high school brand, and we've got tons of high school football videos. We do a lot of shows. We're on Facebook, Twitter. We even have a YouTube channel, so please go on there, give us a like.
Like him!
Yes, thank you.
Like him!
Did you do it, Stu? Did you like us? You got to give us a like.
Yes, I did.
Oh,
yes,
excellent.
He's on ugly Facebook, though. Just so you know. But yeah, we'll put a link up on our Facebook. Support high school football. It's a great thing you're doing, Pep.
Pep Fernandez.
Yeah.
You guys are the best.
You rock.
And welcome back to HS Game Time Live. The scores are still coming in. Our guy Javier Cabrera just came back in, and he wanted to throw a shout out to Frank Alvarado out there at Ramona. I guess our guy Javi, which we call Ja Rule around here at the HS Game Time studio, hooked Javi up with a water tonight at Ramona, so that was very cool. But he just came in. Javier's been updating our big board. Angel, you don't have to go to it, but I just want to say the score real quick that Patriot and Victor Valley played, and they just put up the score. It ended in a tie, 17-17. So Patriot and Victor Valley were playing at Rubidoux High School tonight, and it ends in a tie, 17-17. So go figure, the Warriors end in a draw tonight. All right, so we've still got a lot more highlights. Chris Erkley is standing by with your Taquitz taking on Temecula Valley. We'll cover the scores, and we'll have more analysis. And don't forget, Facebook and Twitter, the hashtag HSGTFB. Hit us up, give us a final score, give us your thoughts or opinions, or maybe even a question. We'll try to get them answered here on the live show. We'll be right back.
Tyron Smith, the Dallas Cowboys, offensive tackle, and you're watching HS Game Time Live.
Back to HS Game Time Live. Thanks for watching tonight as the scores and highlights still come in. Chris Erkley back from Temecula Valley, where Taquitz came up big tonight.
It was a journey. I put on a lot of mileage, but you know what else put on a lot of mileage was the Taquitz running game.
They're pretty good, I hear.
I saw them last week in their 50-0 domination over Rubidoux, and we saw a lot of the same this week against Temecula Valley, a Southwestern League team. That's really
maybe a little surprising, right?
We don't want to spoil the surprise. Let's roll to the highlights. We'll let the people see it there. Hey, rolling into the game in style, I decided, hey, it's a nice night. Maybe I'll take the HSGT hot air balloon out there. You know who else was hot? The DJ of the Titan touchdown party, Jonte Price. He finds the end zone, putting them up in the early lead. Golden Bears, it's homecoming night. They're not going to go down without a fight. Right at the goal line, it's Brendan Martin pushing his way across for the touchdown. Later in the second quarter, though, you cannot hold down Taquitz for too long. They decide to mix it up. QB Ben Moreno rolls to his right and finds tight end Sean Asparis for the score. 19-7 Titans at the time. Early in the third quarter, Temecula Valley would regroup at half and fire up the troops. It's another touchdown at the goal line for Brendan Martin. 19-14 Titans now. But you can only stop Taquitz in the running game for so long. Jonte Price back at it again, this time with a 10-yard score. Now in the fourth quarter, the Titans put it to bed with the Titans quarterback Ben Moreno finding his boy, Mytorius Boyd. And in the words of their PA announcer, touchdown Titans. They're up 39-21. The defense would finish it off from there, racking up a sack on QB Kyle Plantier. That'll do it. Taquitz red hot on the offensive side once again at 54-21. Pep, if you're a defensive coordinator, how do you stop Taquitz because their running game is on fire?
I don't know if you can. I actually picked Temecula Valley. I thought, big Southwestern League school, Taquitz, yes. Nothing against Taquitz, but I thought, a school from the Southwestern League, just sheer school population would probably have possibly a better team. But Taquitz, man, turning some heads.
The Taquitz principal said because they're only a school of 1,600, to beat a school of that size, that it was a program-changing victory for them. He's also, I want to give him a special award. He's also the most fired up principal of any principal I think I've ever seen on the sideline. You would almost think he was the head coach. He's over there fired up.
And he went to a road game.
In the guy's face. Yeah. Hey, he's out there, principal, everyone thinks, oh, maybe he's got something better to do, at home, being a fine intellectual, but he doesn't.
He doesn't.
He's out there firing up the troops. He is their #1 fan. I think he should be the mascot.
That's awesome to hear. And then, what I'm thinking about down the road is the Mountain Pass League. Everyone wants to give the title to Citrus Hill because they've been so good. Maybe Taquitz can push Citrus Hill a little bit, for that league championship. You're a believer over here.
Yeah, they're playing Hsgt next week. I think we all know how that game's going to come up. The next game for Taquitz, though, that I think will be interesting is the West Valley game. I think they've got that in 2 weeks. Could be a shootout at the OK Corral. Their defense is questionable at times. They did get beat on a couple deep balls, but someone has got to figure out that 1-2 punch of the running game that they got led by Jonte Price, because that kid is pulling in touchdowns like it's no one's business, that's for sure.
So it sounds like if they get into a shootout with anybody, they can hang.
Yeah, they could hang. I was expecting maybe like a 40-30 game tonight. It turned out to be 54-21. It's just unstoppable force.
They're going to shut down the city of Hsgt next week, as you said, Hsgt taking on Taquitz. That could be good. Maybe
we'll
one-sided for Taquitz, but we'll see.
Could be some good highlights.
It could be. All right, thank you, Chris. You'll be back in the show as we break down this game once again. But let's go to our poll question, Angel, because Taquitz is part of it this week. Which team deserves more respect? And I think Chris just made a great case for Taquitz because they're picking up some big wins, and they're knocking off Temecula Valley. Temecula Valley on that list. And maybe we'll have to take them off that list after this game, but I'm sure the Golden Bears will bounce back. They'll need to because they've got a tough Southwestern League in front of them to still play. Paloma Valley, you can make a case for any of these teams. Arlington, which we're going to see in just a moment, they're off to a great start. West Valley, Beaumont, of course, they want respect. It's been well documented. They call and email us and say, "Pep, come on, we're better than that." So we're all about the Cougars here at the Press Enterprise. So go ahead and go ahead and vote on our website. We're going to give some up-to-date results on the poll question tomorrow on the Saturday Scouting Report. So check back and find out which local team deserves the most respect, and that according to our viewers here at HS Game Time and HS Game Time Live. All right, moving on. As we mentioned, Arlington, one of those schools on the looking for respect. Back here in the studio, the Arlington took on Valley View on a Thursday night game, an Inland Valley League contest, and the Lions, man, they looked really sharp against Valley View. They've got a big one against Pauley next week, and we'll preview that a little bit more on the Saturday Scouting Report. But let's check out Arlington taking on Valley View on Thursday night. Tonight's action brought to you by the Gosh Auto Group, Ford, Toyota, Hyundai, the Gosh Auto Group, and a shout out to the Arlington dance team and also the referees, the best in the business. These guys are not replacements, they're the real deal. To the highlights, following a turnover, Lions quarterback Roman Holston punches it in. Arlington adds the 2-point conversion, 8-zip Lions. Later, Ruben Kelly, still charging hard even with a bum knee. He told me he was about 68%. He looked fine on this long run, and that would set up this. DJ Young, that's my DJ. 11-0 Arlington. Valley View looking to answer. Quarterback Samir Gandy to Donovan Brooks. Takes the big hit, but he hangs on. And then later on that drive, Josh Gonzalez boots it through to get the Eagles on the board 11-3. Just before halftime, Arlington strikes again. It's Martez Duarte. You can't stop it! Duarte darts past the Valley View defense and goes 82 yards to the house. Arlington on top 18-3 at the break. Third quarter, the Lions looking to add to their lead. Holston to Kelly. Count it! The touchdown strike puts the Lions up 25-3. Valley View head coach Jack Fogarty looking to get some offense going. The Eagles going deep on this play, but there's the Lions. Hal Walker coming up with the interception. Now to the fourth quarter. Valley View still hanging tough. The Gandy man to Brooks. Bang! The big catch despite the big hit from Duarte. And that would lead to this. Gandy to Rashad Stevenson for the score, and Valley View makes it a 25-10 game. But on the ensuing kickoff, Daniel Castro puts the game away, runs this one back to the house as Arlington improves to 2-0 in the Inland Valley League, 4-2 overall, winning 32-10. My buddy Garrison and his crew all fired up about the Lions win, and I'm not lying.
Yeah, they're a really good team. I think we got the swing plays there at the end of the half, which went in our favor, stopping them and then getting the big run at the end of the half. But our defense played very well all night.
because everybody thinks we're like more of an underdog, and I think this shows them that we could actually hang with other teams and that we're better than people think we are.
Look for more on Arlington on the Saturday Scouting Report and the Monday Morning Pep Rally. And Arlington, a big winner against Valley View last night, 32-10. Now, next week they take on Poly. That game is going to be great. We'll have more on Arlington tomorrow in the Saturday Scouting Report, as well as the Monday Morning Pep Rally. That's our Monday morning show as we kind of look at the week ahead in high school football and some other high school sports. So we'll talk more Lions on Monday and, of course, the Saturday Scouting Reports. All right, moving on. There was another Thursday night game involving La Sierra and Corona. La Sierra with a new look. Johnny Salazar, the guy with the long hair, not playing quarterback. The Eagles' offense has struggled a little bit, not necessarily because of Johnny, but they wanted to try to do something to mix it up and kind of spark that offense. So Johnny Salazar moved out to wide receiver to try to get the ball in his hands and make some plays out there near the sidelines. So let's go to those highlights, Corona and La Sierra on Thursday night. Here come the Panthers. They came out rolling on the offensive side of the ball. Corona at the doorstep. Quarterback Joe Covarrubias. Knock, knock him home. 7-zip Panthers on top. Now the Panthers kicker Danny Lara with the 43-yard field goal. And you know the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. The line drive field goal is good for Laura. It's simple math. Now some teams would call this a trick play, but this is what the Panthers live on. The halfback pass. Nick Gibson to a wide open Sergio Alvarez for the touchdown. 17-zip Corona on top of this one so far. And then later, still in the first half, Tremel Davis springs free. He goes 60 yards on the score. And Corona cruising at halftime. 25-0. Fast forward to the fourth quarter. La Sierra finally gets it cracking on offense. Jonathan the Real McCoy goes to work. How about 3 touchdowns to go with 120 yards in the game? Could the Eagles pull off a fourth quarter comeback? Well, the Eagles were trailing 25-20, just a minute 22 left of the game. They recover the onside kick. Now it's 4th and 10. La Sierra quarterback Derek Cruz takes off on the run, and he will come up 1 yard short of the first down, and that's how it ends. Corona escapes with the win, 25-20, your final score. So that was from Thursday night. Let's take a look at some of those scores from tonight, Friday night of Week 5 of the high school football season. Angel, you're the man. Going right to the scoreboard. Norco and Alamany. You know, I had Norco in this one. I really thought the Cougars could do it, and I found out our stat guy in there, EPJ, told me that Colton Gerhardt played sparingly, that he didn't start and he barely played. So Colton Gerhardt, I believe, is nursing some sort of an injury. We'll probably get EPJ in here later in the show to talk about that. But Norco coming up short against Alamany. Still a close game against Alamany, 27-13. As we told you, Patriot and Victor Valley played to a tie, 17-17, an even draw. So believe that the Warriors end in a tie with Victor Valley, 17-17. And also from that board, Chaparral, 46-0 against Santa Fe. So the Pumas with a big win, a game that they were expected to win. And we are trying to get highlights from this one. We will definitely get them in the Saturday show from the Pumas. And how about all the shutouts tonight? Summit against Granite Hills, 74-zip. So the Skyhawks soaring high in that one. Big time win, 74-zip. And I think they even called off the Dogs at some point in the second half. So that score could have been even higher. Centennial against Etowanda, 68-15. The Huskies, they pick up the big win. And I believe they have Corona next week to open Big 8 League play. Rialto, 62-12 over Grand Terrace. All right, back here in the studio, if you're just joining us, Poly pulled off the upset on the road at the Rancho Verde. Maybe the Bears would say it's not an upset. Maybe the Bears are much improved this season. Maybe they will challenge for the Inland Valley League title. I know a lot of people talked about Rancho Verde and North, and even Arlington has joined the mix in terms of winning the league title. But now we need to talk about Poly because they had a big win, but they will be tested next week. And next week it's going to be a great game. Poly taking on Arlington, an Inland Valley League showdown there, because last year, if you remember that game, it wasn't a league game, but it was Poly and Arlington playing 15-14. The Bears gutted out that close win. They drove down at the end of the game, or actually they scored at the end of the game to make it 15-14. So I don't know. We could see another close game, and now it's in league, so it makes it even better. Poly and Arlington next week. But first things first, tonight's highlights. Angel, let's go out there. Pauly on the road at the Rancho Verde tonight. And tonight's action and all these highlights brought to you by the Gosh Auto Group. Ford, Toyota, Hyundai, the Gosh Auto Group. And the Bears, they've shaved their head in support of their teammate, Cody Smith, who is battling cancer right now. Cody, if you're watching, man, we're pulling for you, all of us here at HS Game Time. And that was Sharon Jones, the Rancho Verde quarterback. He's out with a broken bone in his leg. So Malcolm Hill, he's playing quarterback these days, and that guy can run. First quarter, he goes in for the long touchdown, and that makes it 7-0. And Rancho Verde can also play some defense. The big hit there, the big stop in the backfield. Then later, Pauly moving the ball. They go to the air, and this guy is a star. Matt Murray, the catch, and he's going to shake a couple tackles and take this deep into Rancho Verde territory. That was the end of the first quarter. Same drive now in the second quarter. It's Matt Ibarra punching in the score, tying the game at 7 apiece. And then later, Malcolm Hill, once again, last week, if you remember, he wore number 39 because normally he's a safety, but he's playing for Sharon Jones, and Hill breaks off another long run. He goes in for the score, but watch at the end. The ball is punched loose. Let's look at the replay real quick. It looks like it was punched out before he crossed the goal line. I'm just saying, it was very close. DeMaurier Stringfellow, the star receiver for the Rancho Verde, not playing. He has a high ankle sprain, that according to his good friend Sharon Jones. So Stringfellow holding out of this one. They could have used him. Later, Hill going to the air, and there is Tony Banks playing some defense. Welcome to Banks Island. The interception for the Pauly Bears. And then it's Keaton Takhtarov for Rancho Verde. He makes a big defensive play for the Mustangs. And then how about Damone Backus? This guy brings the thunder every night. Bang! Check it out one more time. Big hit there late in the second quarter. But as we told you, Pauly would go on to win this game. And check out the guys here. And they were celebrating a little bit on the sideline because they were feeling good against the Mustangs. Final score, 21-14. Pauly is a winner on the road at the Rancho Verde. So Rancho Verde not at full strength. Of course, Sharon Jones still nursing that broken bone. He's hoping to get back, fingers crossed, by the end of the season if the Mustangs can reach the playoffs and make some sort of a deep run and give him more time to heal. And DeMaurier Stringfellow, he sat out tonight, as we mentioned, with a high ankle sprain, but he's hoping to come back next week. And as you can see, the Mustangs could really use him. Pauly with a big win tonight on the road at the Rancho Verde. All right, another Inland Valley League action. North hosting Vista del Lago down at RCC. Let's go to those highlights. Angel will make the short trip down from the Press Enterprise. You just walk out the parking lot, down the steps, and you're at RCC. So North taking on the Ravens. Quarterback Joe Garcia rolls out, and he hooks up here with Tavita Samuelu with a nice pass. And then it's Denzel Foster coming right into your living room. The deuce is loose. Takes the big hit at the end, but he picks up the nice gain. That would set up this. Foster goes in for the score. 7-0 North on top. And then later in the second quarter, Garcia airs out the deep ball to Marcus Baugh, who will one day play for the Ohio State University. He goes in for the score, and North is a big winner tonight against Vista del Lago. Final score 51-6. North gets it done at RCC. All right, moving on to King taking on Ramona. Ramona still looking for its first win of the season. First win under new head coach Damon Dustin. King looking to bounce back from losing the Citrus Hill in the big Wood Road Rumble, but King looking better tonight at Ramona Stadium. Angel, let's go to those highlights, and here's what I'm thinking of doing with my hair for next week's show. Or maybe Angel will do it with me. We'll shave some ram's horns in our heads. Look real cool. And second half here, David Reynolds bounces off a tackle. He picks up a big gain for King, and then later on that same drive, Kendall Moore in for the scores. 27-14, the Wolves leading. Then the Rams, Byron Mays makes the catch, but DeWitt Caswell, you can do it. The big hit there, some extracurricular there, brings out the flag at the end. And then Jacob Rogers in at quarterback. I have to find out where Brett Hollingsworth was. I wasn't at this game, but we'll find out from our reporter. But Jacob Rogers, man, the guy can run. He's in at quarterback, picks up the big gain. And then Ramona, though, coming up with actually, this is Dylan Holsey I believe he pronounces it Dylon. Throws a real curveball on his name, but we're gonna try to get it right here at HS Game Time. But Ramona, they would force the fumble. They come up with a big defensive stop, and there's Cody Lugwood recovering for the Rams. It's Coswell meeting Mays again. Another big hit, and could have been helmet to helmet. It was a little close, but big hit nevertheless. Ramona would get a field goal out of it, so it was a 10-point game, 27-17. But Holsey in the fourth quarter runs in that touchdown, 34-17. Your final score as King is a winner in this one. Now moving on, Moreno Valley. It looked like homecoming out there, right, Angel? It was homecoming for Moreno Valley against Pacific of San Bernardino, so they were looking for a big win. And they beat Hemet last week, so going for back-to-back wins for the Vikings. Let's take you out there to Moval. They love the haka. They like to do it before the game, gets them all fired up, and you can see why. They look good in this one. Early on, quarterback Dane Watkins rolls out. You know, I'm going to talk about Dane in my Monday morning pep rally, so check that out. And he hooks up, oh my goodness, with Ronald Gaither. Takes out the poor lady working the markers, and they did help her up, so that was good to see. And it appeared she was okay. And then later, Dane Watkins, he strikes Cordell Burris for the touchdown, 7-zip. And then it's my boy, Waki Suliafu, flying into the end zone. He goes in for the score. That makes it 14-zip in the second quarter. How about some Viking defense? Asia Caraway gets in there for the sack, double deuces. Can't stop it. Then later, Siko Ania Palate on the run here, and he's running and running and running and running. Come back, Palate. The game's not over. He was all excited running out the back of the end zone. That made it 21-zip. Now Pacific punting. Gaither back, and he's running downhill on this one. With a full head of steam, he goes in for the touchdown on the return. That makes it 28-0 at the half, and Moreno Valley goes on to blank Pacific, 56-0, your final score. Taking a look at the big board, Angel, let's do it. Let's go over there to some of those scores from tonight. There it is, 56-0. Moreno Valley is a winner against Pacific. Kaiser and Ayala. Tim Dutton just did that big feature on their linebackers and that stingy Cats defense, and they do it again. 14-7. Kaiser is a winner. So they were playing some great defense for the Cats. They win at Ayala. Chaparral, 46-0. They are a winner. As you might expect, Centennial a big winner. Vista Marietta a big winner. Redlands East Valley not getting it done on the road at Mission Viejo. Remember last year at the University of Redlands, they pulled out a gutty 10-7 victory against the Diablos, but not this time around. They lose pretty big on the road against Mission Viejo. All right, back here in the studio, we've got more highlights coming your way, scores and analysis. Hit us up, Facebook and Twitter. You can find us there. Give us your scores, your thoughts, or even your questions. We'll be right back on HS Game Time Live.
and PE.com. I'm here.
And welcome back to HS Game Time Live. Chris Erkley joining me here in the lounge. Back from Temecula, where it was Taquitz playing strong tonight.
Taquitz was impressing, Pep. I know in the HS Game Time you pick him. You went with the bold pick of Temecula Valley.
Can I make a proclamation right now
to
all our viewers? I know there's several 100,000 people watching right now that I will not pick against Taquitz again this season. I make that proclamation.
They won 50-0 against Rubidoux. I mean, you had to respect that, right?
I did respect that. I just thought Temecula Valley, maybe they were flying under the radar down there in southwestern County, but
apparently the way that Taquitz handled Temecula Valley, maybe next they're going to want to do a Manny Pacquiao Mayweather and call out Chaparral or Vista Marietta or something next. Let's roll to the highlights. It was homecoming for Temecula Valley. I decided, hey, it's a clear night. Why don't I just rolling in luxury in the Hsgt hot air balloon? Also red hot tonight on the ground, the DJ of the Titan TD party, Hsgt Price. The price is right on that one. He finds the end zone. Golden Bears, though, not going down on without a fight. We know it's their homecoming night. Brendan Marchand pushes across the goal line for the touchdown. 13-7, Taquitz the score at the time. Later in the second quarter, Taquitz decides to mix it up a bit. QB Ben Marino rolls to the right, finds tight end Sean Asparis for the score. 19-7 Titans. Early in the third quarter, Temecula Valley would regroup. At the half, they strike first with another goal line strike from Brendan Marchand. Now just 19-14 Titan lead. Do we have ourselves a ball game? Not if the Taquitz running game has a part of it. Once again, Hsgt Price finding the end zone for a 10-yard score this time. The touchdown party would continue for Taquitz now in the fourth quarter. QB Ben Marino finds my old buddy, old pal, Matorius Boyd. And in the words of their PA announcer, touchdown Titans. The defense would finish it up from there. They rack up a sack. 54-21 would be the final out at Temecula Valley tonight. Taquitz apparently is the team from the Hemet area. I guess we can crown them as the kings of Hemet right now. They play Hemet next week, but I don't know if you want to be bold and take Hemet in that game.
You know what? I can't go against my proclamation I just made. I'm going with Taquitz rest of the season.
All the way.
I have to.
If Taquitz plays Vista Marietta,
I got Taquitz.
Yeah, you got Taquitz.
I'm going all Titans the rest of the way. I saw some big guys up front. So they got some size.
They have some size
on
the line. They got some guys that look like they could be hovering around the high 200s, low 300s. They know how to eat over there in Hemet, so
maybe that's what's going on. There's some good eatings, maybe in the Taquitz cafeteria.
I think
and
they're
on,
under the Louis Amistoy Hemet workout program. That's what they're rolling up there.
Is there such a thing? That's kind of like an oxymoron, right?
I heard it's the new Atkins. Actually, he's patenting it. Anyways, Taquitz, an unbeatable 1-2 punch that we've seen the last 2 weeks on the running game. They got Hemet. Next week after that, I believe they got West Valley on the menu. I think that could be a dandy, as I like to call them. But I know there's one in particular team that you like to see them challenge. Would be the Citrus Hill.
That's gonna be a good one. Assuming Taquitz runs the table, if it could be for a league championship when those two get together.
Hodge and Hsgt Price. We'll see who's the bigger dog in the.
Let's not leave out PJ Walker.
Yeah, PJ Walker.
Yeah.
Let's see who the big dog in that fight is, but we got a little bit of football to play before that.
Still a long journey in front of us. Thanks, Chris. Let's take a look at the HS Game Time poll since we're talking about Taquitz. They're one of the teams that we're asking, do they deserve more respect? I'm sold. I mean, Chris convinced me with those highlights, so Taquitz definitely should get more respect. West Valley, Beaumont, Arlington, Temecula Valley was on that list, but you can be the judge now after seeing the highlights against Taquitz. Paloma, as we mentioned, Paloma Valley on there. Arlington also a big winner, and that's where we're going next. Let's come back here in the studio, tell you about the Thursday night games. There was 2 of them. Arlington took on Valley View, and the Lions, man, they look really good, and they've got a big one against Poly coming up. Poly, as we told you, beat the Rancho Verde, so that contest should be a good one, a good battle next week. But the Lions feeling pretty good coming off a big win against the Eagles on Thursday night. Tonight's action brought to you by the Gosh Auto Group, Ford, Toyota, Hyundai, the Gosh Auto Group, and a shout out to the Arlington dance team and also the referees, the best in the business. These guys are not replacements, they're the real deal. To the highlights, following a turnover, Lions quarterback Roman Holston punches it in. Arlington adds the 2-point conversion, 8-zip Lions. Later, Ruben Kelly, still charging hard even with a bum knee. He told me he was about 68%. He looked fine on this long run, and that would set up this. DJ Young, that's my DJ. 11, nada, Arlington. Valley View looking to answer. Quarterback Samir Gandy to Donovan Brooks. Takes the big hit, but he hangs on. And then later on that drive, Josh Gonzalez boots it through to get the Eagles on the board, 11-3. Just before halftime, Arlington strikes again. It's Martez Duarte. You can't stop it. Duarte darts past the Valley View defense and goes 82 yards to the house. Arlington on top 18-3 at the break. Third quarter, the Lions looking to add to their lead. Holston to Kelly. Count it. The touchdown strike puts the Lions up 25-3. Valley View head coach Jack Fogarty looking to get some offense going. The Eagles going deep on this play, but there's the Lions. Hal Walker coming up with the interception. Now to the fourth quarter. Valley View still hanging tough. The Gandy man to Brooks. Bang! The big catch despite the big hit from Duarte. And that would lead to this. Gandy to Rashad Stevenson for the score, and Valley View makes it a 25-10 game. But on the ensuing kickoff, Daniel Castro puts the game away, runs this one back to the house as Arlington improves to 2-0 in the Inland Valley League, 4-2 overall, winning 32-10. My buddy Garrison and his crew all fired up about the Lions win, and I'm not lying.
Yeah, they're a really good team. I think we got the swing plays there at the end of the half, which went in our favor, stopping them and then getting the big run at the end of the half. But our defense played very well all night.
Because everybody thinks we're like more of an underdog, and I think this shows them that we could actually hang with other teams, and that way we're better than people think we are.
Look for more on Arlington on the Saturday Scouting Report and the Monday Morning Pep Rally. Big win for Arlington, and yes, we will have more on the Lions on the Saturday Scouting Report as well as the Monday Morning Pep Rally, and we'll talk about the mustaches on the assistant coaches and what Pat McCarthy, the head coach, thinks about his assistant coaches going with the cool stashes, including one that looks like one of those handlebar twisty mustaches. So we'll talk about that on the Monday Morning Pep Rally. That was not the only Thursday night game, a non-league showdown, Corona and La Sierra. This one looked like it was going to be a blowout in the first half, but it appeared to get close in the second half, even with Johnny Salazar not at quarterback, moved outside to wide receiver to kind of shake things up for the La Sierra offense. Angel, let's go to those highlights from Thursday night. Here come the Panthers, and they came out rolling on the offensive side of the ball. Corona at the doorstep. Quarterback Joe Covarrubias, knock, knock, I'm home. 7-zip, Panthers on top. Now the Panthers kicker Danny Lara with a 43-yard field goal. And you know the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Line drive field goal. It's all good for Lara. Simple math. Now some teams would call this trick play, but this is what the Panthers live on. The halfback pass, Nick Gibson to a wide-open Sergio Alvarez for the touchdown. 17-zip Corona. Still in the first half. Tramel Davis gets the call, springs free, and goes 60 yards on the score. And Corona cruising at halftime, 25-0. Now fast forward to the fourth quarter, and La Sierra finally gets it cracking on offense. Jonathan the Real McCoy goes to work. How about 3 touchdowns to go with 120 yards in the game? Could the Eagles pull off the fourth quarter comeback? They were trailing 25-20 with just 1:22 left in the game. So they go for the onside kick, and they do recover. Now, 4th and 10, La Sierra quarterback Derek Cruz takes off on the run, and he will come up a yard short of the first. That's it. Corona escapes with the win, 25-20, your final score. So real quick, EPJ joining us. Let's go back to Thursday night. Corona had that lead, looked like they were going to give it away.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably a disappointing result for Corona, given that I think they thought they started the game off well and can kind of continue it going and almost, let one slip away there. And Coach Steve Hill, the first-year coach at Corona, says, they're still learning how to win. A lot of these players have struggled through a few seasons, and they just need to learn how to play 48 minutes from beginning to end with strong finish. On the other side, La Sierra, we're seeing a totally different La Sierra.
They were shaking it up.
They had not been able to score points with Johnny Salazar at quarterback this year. He's got a total new cast of skill guys around him, so they decide, let's look at something else. And Coach Rechtenwald said, nothing against Johnny. He's still a great playmaker, but we need to try something new. And they got some things going, some late touchdowns. Jonathan McCoy, his first start at running back, looked very good. Yeah. And Johnny Salazar making some plays as a receiver, too.
All right, so moving forward, La Sierra looking for a new look, a new identity going to River Valley League play. Excuse me. So you were in the newsroom taking all these calls and getting stats in. Let's go first with Centennial here. Big winner against Etiwanda, and their quarterback Robert Weber gets it done again, right?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of figured this could be a nice stat builder game for Centennial. They had scored. They were up 16-0 with only three offensive plays. So, at 34-0 at the end of the first quarter, Robert Weber completed his first 10 passes, was over 200 yards by the time halftime rolled around. So Centennial's offense really rolling, another 500 yards total for this offense. Probably could have put up more points than the 68 that they did today. So really like Centennial and what they're doing. That offensive line is really paving the way for either passing or running.
All right, we will have highlights of Centennial's big win tomorrow on the Saturday Scouting Reports. Norco comes up short at Alemany, but they were not at full strength, as we hear, right?
No, and I think it's a good, even though they're on the losing end of a 27-13 game, I think it's a pretty solid result given the fact that Colton Gerhardt pretty much did not play in this game. He had a hamstring, injury during the week, didn't practice most of the week, tried to test it before game time, wasn't able to go. So Juan Acosta stepping in there. Joseph Ajibi still did well, but, their defense to only give up 27 points against Alemany, not bad for that defense. Norco's still having trouble against teams that throw the ball well. I mean, most of the big plays for Alemany came through the air, and that's something Norco's still trying to improve on now, is not letting big teams pass. But overall, I would say it's still a pretty decent result for Norco, given that they were shorthanded.
And maybe they were looking at what you hinted at, the big picture of league play.
Yeah, and they open up as tough as you can get. They're opener next week is Santiago, and the week after that is Centennial. So they got to make sure Colton is ready for those two games.
Michael Darr and Robert Weber, two guys who can pass. As you said, that might be their weakness, right, on the Norco defense.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, they're going to need their offense at full strength to maybe go toe-to-toe with some of these teams. So, like I said, probably the smart move this week, not pushing Colton's hamstring. He did get in for a few series, but probably the smart choice to focus on league play.
All right, thanks, EPJ. Let's go to the scoreboard, Angel, and we'll show you that Norco Alemany score, 27-13. As Eric mentioned, it was a loss, but you know what? They played him tough, and Colton, they shut him down, and he did get a couple plays late in the game, but it was a close game against Alemany, 27-13, your final in that one. Palm Desert and San Bernardino, this game was called before time ran out because there was a fight. 45-6, Palm Desert is a winner against San Bernardino, Cardinal City. The weird score you're probably scratching your head about, Victor Valley and Patriot, that is correct. 17-17, this one ends in a draw, so kind of wacky out there at Rubidoux High School. Rev and Mission Viejo, it was 52-21. The Diablos all over the Wildcats. The Wildcats won this matchup last year, but going on the road just too much. Mission Viejo picks up the win. Carter, 44-0. So Carter is off to a great start. They're climbing the HS Game Time rankings. We got to get out there soon and get some highlights of Carter because they are enjoying a great season thus far. All right, back here in the studio, the highlights roll on. In case you're just joining us, the game of the night, Pauley and Rancho Verde. We were there for the first half with video highlights, and you got to figure that the Pauley Bears are going to be in the mix for the Inland Valley League Championship this season. Angel, let's go to those highlights, and these highlights and all the highlights tonight brought to you by the Gosh Auto Group, Ford, Toyota, Hyundai, the Gosh Auto Group. And the Pauley Bears, all the players shaving their heads and supporting their teammate Cody Smith, who recently found out he has cancer, is doing chemo. So Cody, we're all pulling for you here at HS Game Time, bud. We got your back. And that was Sharon Jones, the quarterback at the Rancho Verde, broken bone in his leg. He's not playing. Here's Malcolm Hill. He's playing the quarterback position, and he can run all the way to the paint. 7-zip, the Rancho Verde on top. And then later, how about some Rancho Verde defense? Big time, the big time hit there. And then later, Pauley moving the ball through the air. This guy is a star. Matt Murray, Eminem, the catch and the big run deep into Rancho Verde territory. Same drive, that was the end of the first quarter. Same drive now in the second quarter. Matt Ibarra takes the plunge, goes in for the score, ties the game at 7 apiece. Then it's Hill again, as we mentioned, made his quarterback debut last week wearing the number 39. At least he's got number 12. At least that's more of a quarterback number. He springs loose on another long touchdown run, but watch the end. It looks like the ball is punched out. We'll show the replay before he crosses the goal line. It was very close, but it was ruled a touchdown. It could have went either way. DeMaurier Stringfellow, he did not play. High ankle sprain. The University of Washington commit watching from the sidelines. He is hoping to be ready for next week when they play. Continue Inland Valley League play. Rancho Verde marching down the field, looking to go for the score, but there's Banks Island. Tony Banks with the interception for the Poly Bears, and then it's Keaton Taquitz, the big hit for Rancho Verde. So big defensive plays in this one. Maybe none bigger than Damone Backus coming up here. Bang! Damone Backus bringing down the Thunder on that big hit. Man, Rancho Verde was flying around, playing physical, but it was not enough. Poly goes on the road. They pull off the upset. Final score of 21-14. Congratulations to the Poly Bears. They got it done tonight against the Rancho Verde. Wow, big win for them. All right, also in Inland Valley League play, just down the stairs here from the Press Enterprise North was in action against Vista del Lago down at RCC. So, Angel, let's go down there to RCC, and that's pretty much North's home field. They're home away from home when they play down there at RCC. North taking on Vista del Lago, and here come the Huskies all fired up for this one, and it was the beginning of a big night for the North offense. Joe Garcia rolls out, hits Tavita Samuelu down the sideline for the nice gain. And then it's Denzel Foster right into your living room. The deuce is loose and pushed out of bounds. Later in the second quarter, same drive. Foster walks into the paint. 7-zip, North on top. Still in the second quarter, Garcia drops back, airs out the deep ball to Marcus Baugh, the future, the Ohio State Buckeye, hauls in the touchdown for North, and North goes on to the big win against Vista del Lago. Your final score in this one, 51-6. North comes up on top. Now moving on to King taking on Ramona. The Rams searching for their first win of the season under new head coach Damon Dustin. Meanwhile, King, as we mentioned, trying to rebound after losing the Wood Road Rumble big time to Citrus Hill. So who would prevail tonight? Let's go to those highlights at Ramona Stadium. And Miriam Swanson said she's going to do that to her hair next week. I don't believe her, but we'll see if she does the the Ramona Rams horns in her in the side of her hair. She's shaking her head no, but I'm going to really pull for it. David Reynolds, the big run here for King. That would set up this, as I like to say. Kendall Moore goes in for the touchdown here. And then how about some defense? You can do it. Do it, Coswell, with the big hit there on Byron Mays. They would meet again later in the highlights, as you'll see. And then in at quarterback, Jacob Rogers. We'll have to talk to Miriam about this and find out why Brett Hollingsworth wasn't playing. But Jacob Rogers, the big run there for King. This time he hands it off to Dylan, I believe it is. Holsey.
You got it.
Dylan Holsey. You know, he tried to throw me a curveball. I promised I'd get it right at some point. And then Ramona's defense coming up here with the turnover. And at the bottom of that pile, Cody Ludwig pops up with the pigskin, and he recovers for Ramona. Then Coswell and Mays, they meet again. Maybe helmet to helmet. It was a little close. I think the Ramona side was fired up on their sideline, but it would lead to a Ramona field goal. It was only a 10-point game, 27-17. And then my guy Dylan Holsey goes in for the score in the fourth quarter. That made it 34-17, and that would be it. That's your final score as King is a winner against Ramona. So I'm just curious, where was Brett Hollingsworth? He did not play tonight, I guess.
No, he started.
He started, okay.
And then he was trying to chase down, who was he chasing?
Malcolm Ballard.
Not Malcolm.
No.
That's what I want to say. Not Fred.
Let's do some name dropping here. Nevertheless,
yeah,
he was chasing down somebody from Ramona, and
he kind of went up and looked like he hurt his leg a little bit, maybe pulled a hammy or something. But Coach Corridon at King says it's just kind of like this nagging injury that he's had, and apparently they just thought best to rest him and make sure he's ready for league and try out some other guys, see what they did. So the other guys kind of just handed it off, and King had
Jacob
3 guys.
Rogers can run apparently too. That was a nice run by Jacob Rogers there, the quarterback who replaced Hollingsworth.
Yeah, that was a great play by him.
So moving forward, King looks like they're on the mend, but it doesn't get any easier for them because they're heading into Big 8 league now. So what do you think about King? And obviously they'd like to have Brett Hollingsworth back, I guess, in the lineup.
Yeah, hopefully be okay. They obviously have quite a few weapons otherwise too. I mean, Dylon obviously he showed his stuff. He ran for I think more than 100 yards against Citrus last week, and he was close to that again this week. And then Kendall Moore, who's actually a receiver, carried for nearly 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. And
not too bad for a receiver.
Yeah. And then I really enjoyed watching Kyle Dunbar, who's 5'3". He's listed as 5'3".
Is he shorter than that? Or?
I don't know. I haven't actually stood.
Cleats on, 5'3" with cleats on?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that guy, he had like 97 yards or something, but he's tiny, but he packs a punch. So that guy, I don't know, he was fun to watch. So those 3 guys kind of.
They got some good skill guys over there at King.
Yeah.
So what about Ramona? We love Damon Dustin. When are the Rams going to get their first win of the season? I think they'll be competitive in the River Valley League.
He thinks so too. I mean, they've played. Sanji's a good team. King's a good team from the Big 8, and they were there toe-to-toe with them for most of the game. Ramona's got talent. Damon Mays hurt his shoulder in practice this week, but you couldn't even tell from playing. That's the quarterback for Ramona.
Yeah, and he got hit pretty hard. He still made the catch, and he still popped up.
No, the quarterback.
Oh, Damon Mays? Yeah. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Byron Mays. Brothers?
I don't know.
Cousins?
I don't know. Maybe.
Must be.
Sure, yeah.
We'll investigate. Yeah. We'll look into that.
Of course they are.
He said Mays. I'm like, oh, it's Byron Mays. He made 2 catches. So.
Well, he did, though, considering he was getting walloped.
So maybe it's a brother quarterback to receiver duo? Am I thinking feature story for Miriam Swanson in the near future here?
Maybe. After tonight, those 2 guys were on point. So, yeah.
All right. Well, best of luck to Ramona as they go into River Valley League and King. At least they're Ramona's battle tested. King's had some battles, so as they head into Big 8 league play.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Miriam. I appreciate it. All right, Angel. Let's go to the Moreno Valley taking on Pacific highlights, and that was the game Angel actually went to, and they do the haka out there, those Vikings. And early on, Dane Watkins is going to hook up with Ronald Gaither after scrambling, buying some times. And check out the lady on the chain gang. She goes down, but she would be okay. They help her up, and apparently she was okay, so that's good news. Dane Watkins there hooking up with Cordell Burris on the touchdown. That made it 7-zip. And then it's my guy, Waki Suliafu, flying in with all that hair. Did you use my head and shoulders, Waki? Did you? He goes in for the touchdown. And then later, how about some defense? Asia Caraway, the sack. Nothing doing for Pacific tonight. And then Siko Ania Palate, the touchdown run, and he is running and running and running. Come back, Palate. There's more game. That was a nice touchdown, though. And then it's Pacific back to punt. And on the other end of this, it's that Gaither guy again. And when he's not taking out the chain gang, he's going in for touchdowns as Moreno Valley is a big winner tonight against Pacific. Final score of 56-0. As we mentioned, Kaiser was a winner on the road at Ayala, 14-7. So the Kaiser Cats are 5-0 on the season. And let's roll some video, Angel, because Tim Dutton did a feature story on a pair of the Kaiser Cat linebackers who have really stepped up the Kaiser defense, and they're doing great things. And Tim Dutton should be in here in just a second, so if he's not ready to go, he needs to be in here if Javier can grab him, because Tim Dutton did a feature on the Kaiser Cats, their linebackers. And Angel, let's go ahead and roll that video of their practice video of those Kaiser Cats. Their names are Kevin Trujillo and Anthony Sines, and they've been playing some lights-out defense for the Kaiser Cats, helped them improve to 5-0 on the season so far with that big win on the road tonight. And we can tell you that Trujillo has played varsity at Kaiser since he was a freshman, all CIF first-team selection in 2011, and Sines joined the Cats following his sophomore year after playing at Apple Valley. Both Trujillo and Sines call defensive signals for Kaiser, and Coach Phil Zelaya calls them very tough, smart, and deceptively quick. Here's Tim Dutton. He did the story. So, Tim, as we saw on the board over here, come back out here live to the lounge. Angel and Kaiser, a winner on the road tonight, 14-7 at Ayala. So it sounds like defense, once again, the recipe for Kaiser's victories.
Most definitely. Their offense, they have a good running game, but it's their defense is what carries that team, especially those 2 linebackers and the front line, the whole unit. It's very experienced. I'm looking forward to seeing how they do against Summit next week.
That should be a battle, right?
Yeah, most definitely. Sun Kids League opener. Summit's got all that speed. They've got the experience. I'm really curious. I'm guessing Summit's going to have a hard time running the ball. They're going to have to put it up in the air. We'll see how their speed does.
Kaiser's defense against Summit, who posted 74 on Granite Hills tonight. So that'll be an awesome game next week. All right, Bloomington and Norte Vista tonight. That was the game you covered. And Angel, if you'd like to, we have some video of this game that we'll also have in the Saturday show. But go ahead and roll the Norte Vista highlights. And Tim, let's talk about it. Norte Vista, the big winner tonight on, I believe, homecoming out there for the Braves.
It was homecoming, one of many homecoming nights out there, I'm sure. They're an interesting story. A lot of injuries. Luis Campos is a junior. He was third or fourth string running back when the season started. Well, they had a lot of injuries. He goes out and runs for 100 yards behind some very good blocking by Norte Vista's line. Norte Vista gave up 58 yards in offense total to Bloomington and 2 first downs.
Wow.
One of those was on a penalty.
Wow, so do you think Novi just kind of flipped the switch, or was Bloomington just kind of ripe for the picking maybe tonight?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Bloomington's got a lot of challenges. They had some penalties. They had some blown assignments. Just some different challenges. They really couldn't get anything on track, and they got beaten pretty badly on both sides on the line.
Now, having seen Novi, they're in that new River Valley League with a mishmash of teams like La Sierra and Moreno Valley. Ramona's in there as well. Having seen them up close and personal, what do you think of the Braves as they head into this league play?
I think they could be a contender. They were talked about as a contender. They've lost so many people, some linemen, both running backs. They're hoping to get about 4 or 5 guys back this week. I think if they get them back, it's an interesting league. I think they can probably compete.
All right, cool. Let's go ahead and roll some of those videos. Video that Tim shot tonight up there, homecoming against Bloomington and Norte Vista coming up big. Did you talk with Ken Batdorf, the head coach, after the game, and what did he have to say?
I did indeed. He was very relieved to get a victory. He's hoping to get some guys back. But he goes, we didn't look too bad out there. We actually threw the ball a few times, which his teams are not known for. And they just looked good on both sides of the ball. But he knows, Bloomington's a little bit down, so he knows there's tougher competition ahead. He really wants some of his guys back.
Did he say? Did he elaborate of what he liked about his team tonight, and maybe some strengths that he could rely on moving forward?
Definitely the line. You can kind of see here their line providing a surge, 1 to 2 touchdowns for that guy, 1-yard runs. That's basically what he was pointing out as their strengths. They really did well on both sides of the line.
Awesome. Thanks, Tim. Let's come back out here live. We will. Let's remind you that we will have highlights of Norte Vista and Bloomington, courtesy of Tim Dutton, in our Saturday scouting report on Saturday. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Pep.
All right, let's go back to the big board one more time and check out some of those scores from Week 5 of the high school football season. And there's the Norte Vista Bloomington score, 35-0. The Braves are a winner tonight. And Victor Valley and Patriots, 17-17. So that game ends in a draw. So the Warriors come away with a tie. So not good, not bad, just a tie. It is what it is. So in Taquitz, big winner against Temecula Valley, 54-21. And that leads us to this. Back here live in the lounge, Chris Erickley joining us. You were at that game. Was it really a blowout for Taquitz?
It was close. At the beginning of the third quarter, we had 19-15, but after that, it was all Taquitz. Their running game is that duo. They are a force to be reckoned with. I mean, Pep, I know you respect them. At least you do.
I do now.
After
well, I will say this, that we had that poll question a couple of weeks back of who is the top running back in the inland area. And we gave people 3 choices, and people went on Facebook and they commented under the poll that you're leaving out Jonte Price. Like, how could, you pick 3 good ones, nothing against those 3 guys, but man, there's a guy out at Taquitz that you guys need to be talking about.
The coach over at Rubidoux, McMains, actually mentioned after last week's game against Taquitz that he thinks he is the best running back in the IE. So he appears, if we were doing American Idol, he may be our winner right now, because there's a lot of Jonte Price fans out there.
Or if it was The Voice, they'd be pushing the button.
Yeah, Christina Aguilera would definitely be picking Jonte Price.
Pushing the button for Jonte Price. Yeah. All right, we're digressing here, Chris.
You know what? I always say you're going to have to see it to believe it. So let's roll to the highlights. It was homecoming. Nope, wrong game. It was homecoming.
Taquitz,
Temecula Valley. People cannot see it to believe it. Prep dog Don Murphy rolling in.
Was he in that hot air balloon?
Yeah, he was in the hot air balloon. He had a couple of his friends from Temecula up in there. That's another story, though. The real story, though, as we said, was Jonte Price cruising his way into the end zone. Not his first, second, or third appearance in the end zone. Golden Bears not going down without a fight, though, on homecoming night. Brendan Marchand pushes his way across the goal line. 13-7 Taquitz at the time. Later in the second quarter, Taquitz decides to mix it up with their passing attack. Brendan Moreno rolls to the right, finds tight end Sean Asperis for the score. 19-7 Titans. Early in the third quarter, though, Golden Bears would regroup and find the end zone at the goal line. Once again, Brendan Marchand, now 19-14 Titans. As I said, we did have ourselves a ball game at that point, but the Titans had seen enough from there. Jonte Price added again with yet another touchdown, saying, "Hey, Pep, vote for me. I'm the top running back in the IE." Now in the fourth quarter, the Titans put it to bed. Moreno finding my buddy, Mytorious B.I.G. Boyd. And in the words of their touchdown PA announcer, touchdown Taquitz. The defense would take care of it from there, racking up a sack on Kyle Plantier. That'll do it all Taquitz tonight in the fourth quarter, 54-21. Let the fat lady sing. Taquitz is a force to be reckoned with.
And I picked Temecula Valley in the paper. What can I say? And never again. Taquitz all the way for the rest of the season.
May I warn you, as I said before, the official mascot of Taquitz isn't the Titan, it's their principal.
Oh, that's
and
right.
If you continue to doubt Taquitz, I think he may come out.
Call me to the principal's office.
I'm pretty sure, I'm not a doctor, but I think his average blood pressure during that game was about 200 over 120. So he was fired up, to say the least.
It's good to see the head of the school out there all fired up and pumped up for his football team.
I thought he was the principal, so after I had seen him bouncing around all this time, I said, "Are you the principal or the AD?" He's like, "Oh, I'm the principal." He's like, "But if you got any bad words on your video, I'm the AD," because the AD was standing right behind him, and everyone had a little laugh about that. Apparently, he's a principal, cheerleader, and comedian, all-out entertainer.
A lot of Taquitz love here on HS Game Time. Thanks, Chris. Angel, let's go back to the big board one more time before we tuck people into their beds to go to sleep and get up early tomorrow so they can watch the Saturday Scouting Report with all the highlights. We've got plenty of games still to come on the big Saturday show. So as we run them down, the big one tonight, Pauley, Rancho Verde. The Bears go on the road. They bear down 21-14. Pauley wins in Inland Valley League. And I'm really excited now as Pauley will take on Arlington. That game is going to be an instant classic, El Clasico. Chaparral blanks Santa Fe 46-0. That's another game that we're trying to get highlights of for the Saturday Scouting Report. And you saw the tie, Patriots 17-17 with Victor Valley. Kaiser 14-7. The Cats defense gets it done again. Kaiser's 5-0. You know, they win 14-7, so they play Summit, as you heard Tim Dutton say, so that'll be a great game as Kaiser takes on Summit. Centennial all over Etowanda 68-15. Norco did lose to Alamany, and as EPJ broke the news, Colton Gerhart played sparingly. He did not start. He did not play for much of the game. He did take a couple snaps, but it was not enough, although the Cougars did play Alamany tough. All right, so back here live. Here's some of the games that we will have for you on the Saturday Scouting Reports. Pauley, Rancho Verde, Taquitz, Temecula Valley, Pacific, Moreno Valley, Vista del Lago North, King Ramona, Bloomington, and Novi, Etowanda at Centennial. We will have those highlights. Santa Fe at Chaparral, and Banning, Coachella Valley. I'm sure Sty Hairston, the shifty little quarterback who's now playing running back, or probably plays whatever he wants to play, just get the ball in his hands out there at Banning. Probably had another big game because Banning came up big against Coachella Valley to win that one. So we'll have all those highlights tomorrow on the Saturday Scouting Reports. And remember, we also pass out the awards. We have a Player of the Week and the Play of the Week on the Saturday show. All right, that'll do it for us on here on HS Game Time Live. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're also on YouTube. So please go on YouTube, find all our shows, all our videos, and subscribe to us so you don't miss a minute of the action. I'm Pep Fernandez. We'll see you again next Friday night, and I'll be back right here for the Saturday Scouting Reports. Good night.